my name is teacher Michelle, and welcome to art for this week's session 15. So, my friends might remember in the book we read this week, The Puddle Pail, our friend Ernst, he was collecting a lot of cool things in his puddle, right? And at one point, he collected something that looked kind of like what I have in my background, right, friends? He would collect all kinds of cool stuff that looked like a bunch of colors were in there. And so, what we're gonna do today is make something really cool, and it's called a scratch card. I don't know if that's the official name, but that's what we're gonna call it. We're gonna call it a scratch card. And so, what you do with a scratch card is it has one solid color on the front, usually black, depending on what type of paint you have, but it's usually black. And then you take like a toothpick or a coin or a wooden stick, and then you scratch it off, and underneath it looks like this, kind of. It's more of a rainbow gradient type of thing. This is more of a tie-dye, but I liked how this looked, and it has similar colors to the rainbow, so I thought it would be fun. And this is also kind of like the pattern that I drew that I'm going to show you guys in 1 second. So before we get into everything, I want to show you guys what type of materials you guys are going to need for this activity. The first thing you're going to need is some paper. This is a small piece of cardstock that I cut out, and cardstock is the kind of paper you're going to want to use. If you use regular paper, it's going to be too flimsy and your paint is going to soak through it and it's not going to work. So ideally you need cardstock or any type of thicker type of paper like that. The next things you're going to need is some paint and some soap, some dish soap. And the paint doesn't have to be blue, it doesn't have to be black, but it typically looks kind of cooler when you have black paint and then you have something like this, really colorful underneath. But it's completely up to you guys. The only thing I forgot to mention is that it needs to be acrylic paint. So my friends can see right here, this says acrylic. It doesn't have to be matte, but I'm not sure, but I think acrylic paint typically is matte. But if my friends want to pause and see the word acrylic right there, so that way they know what to get at the store. If they need to get something at the store, that is the type of paint you use. If you don't use that type of paint, it might not work. I haven't tried it without this type of paint because this is what I found in the recipe, but I don't want to risk it. I don't want you guys to waste your paint, so make sure you have acrylic paint. You're also going to need a bowl like this. This is what I use to mix my thing in. Probably a bowl that can clean easily, or one that you won't miss because you're gonna get paint and soap all over it. And you're going to need, lastly, a paintbrush so you can spread your chalky paint mixture all over your piece of cardstock, and a toothpick or like I said, a wooden stick. Maybe even a coin might work, but I'm not sure. I haven't tested it out with that yet. So what you're gonna do, my friends, is you're gonna take your cardstock. You can cut it like I did, or you can draw it all over your gigantic piece of paper, whatever you guys feel like. And you're going to use, I forgot to mention, friends, you're also going to need crayons. In the example I'm going to show you, I used chalk when I painted over it. We're going to see if that works, and if it does, you might also be able to use chalk, but I'll let you know at the end of the video. As for right now, you are going to need crayons so that way you can draw all over it. If we use colored pencils, it's not waxy enough, so it won't grip onto the paper well enough, and it might come off when you scratch it. So that's why we need crayons. This is the shape that I did. You can do any type of shape. You can do like a tie-dye type of thing like this, or you can just draw a bunch of colors on it. You can do patterns like stripes or a zigzag pattern, polka dots. You could do one solid color underneath, even if you wanted to, 1-2 solid colors. It is totally up to you, friends. The possibilities are endless, so you can draw whatever you want on there. And then once you're done drawing your pattern or shape, background, we'll call it a background. Once you're done drawing your background, what you're going to want to do is mix equal parts paint and dish soap. So you're going to take your paint and your dish soap and you're going to mix equal parts. And you can measure it out. You can put, depending on how big or how many you're going to make, you can do maybe like half cup. That might be too much. You could do a tablespoon and a tablespoon. What I did was I just eyeballed it. I didn't use any measuring cups because I did not feel like washing any dishes afterwards. So it's completely up to you. My friends might also want to have a guardian with them, and by might I mean you do want to have a guardian with you, so that way you know they can help you figure out what equal parts are, because it's a little hard to eyeball it. So If your guardian wants to do that, they can do that. And basically what you're going to be looking for is a kind of thin, bubbly consistency in your mixture. Now, mine has dried a little bit because I did make this a while ago. But if my friends can see, how like that's moving. Ooh, that's moving around the bowl really fast. That is what we call a liquidy consistency because it's moving so fast. And that's the kind of consistency we want. And by consistency means, friends, how thick or thin something is. So when I say we want a thin, watery consistency, that means we want our paint to kind of run a little bit like water. And my friends have seen water, you know, it goes like very fast and it moves very, if I were to turn water in a bowl, it would all fall out. But that's why I say we want it like that, because we do want it to be a little thick, because if it's too watery, it's not going to stick and it's going to take forever to dry. And another important thing to mention is you are going to need a couple coats of paint for this. At least in my experience, the few times I have done this, because I have done it quite a few times, you need couple, at least 3, I want to say. You need at least 3 coats of paint if you want to get a really nice, thick, chalky layer. And that's what we're going for, is we're mixing dish soap and paint because we want the layer to be nice and chalky. So my friends, you're going to take your paintbrush, you're going to dip it in your paint, and you're going to spread it all over your cardstock with your background on it, and then you're going to let it sit and wait to dry. And my friends are going to do just 1 coat of paint. No. We're going to do at least 3. That's right, friends. My friends remembered. We're going to do at least 3 coats of paint because we want it to be nice and thick. So now, for the moment of truth, my friends, I have an example right here. And we're going to see how it came out. Because like I said, my friends, I used chalk for this one because I did not have any crayons available. But we make do. The background's coming off for a second, friends, because I needed to do that. So I'm going to put it on the wall because I don't think I put enough paint layers. But we're going to see. So if we just... Oh, wait a second, friends. Do my friends see that? Oh my god. And now with my friends, you guys are scratching it off. This is the fun part, and you can do any type of thing you want. You can do like a little, let me see if I can do it, like a little smiley face. Oh my gosh, it worked! My friends see my smiley face! Oh my gosh! And so if we go up here, I think I have a different color up here. Nope, that is, my friends can see that is so green. I think I have a different color over here. Oh, I do! So this is the fun part of it, friends, is that like, at least me, I totally forgot where I put these colors at, right? So the fun part is uncovering where you put the colors. So my friends can see that there's kind of some parts where it's a little thin and it's not scratching off as well. Like I think over here, it's kind of thin, or at least I don't think it's maybe not dried all the way. So that's why it's not working. But the parts like this that are nice and dry look really cool. And it's scraping away only the paint, which is awesome because I used chalk. And remember, I was trying to experiment, friends, and see if you could use chalk. So if you have chalk but you don't have crayons, that is totally okay. You can still do this activity. I'm gonna show my friends up close. So this is my paint mixture that I showed you guys. And then underneath, all these colors are coming out because that's what I colored on with chalk. I've got purple. I ripped the paper a little bit there because it was still a little wet. Make sure it dries all the way, friends, because if it's still a little wet, you might rip through your paper even if it's cardstock. But over here where it's nice and dry, I got a green smiley face, and then I got a little star. It got a little messed up, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. So yeah, this is my art, my friends. And I hope my friends had fun doing art with me, Teacher Michelle. I hope your guys' scratch cards come out super cool, super colorful, and I hope you guys have a great time doing them. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, friends.